morning, this is Mike O'Reilly with Venture Kamloops, and I'm here doing our first installment of the Kamloops Business Spotlight. What is the Kamloops Business Spotlight, you're asking? Well, we're taking an in-depth look at different businesses in the community that you may have seen, driven by, heard of, but don't know what they actually do and what goes on behind closed doors. Now, I'm down here at the old Kamloops City Public Works Yard that used to house hundreds of employees, now looking more like an empty parking lot. But in our far east corner, we have a thriving business, Beaver Log Co. And we're going to go in and we're going to meet the owner, Trevor, and he's going to give us a background on his company and show us what he does on a daily basis. So I'm inside Beaver Log with Trevor Genshork, owner-operator, and we're just here to get a little bit of background information on your company and some projects you've done. So maybe you can start by telling us, how did you get into Beaver Log Co.?
Well, I started out as a journeyman carpenter, and I was fascinated with the log home industry, and went over to Asia and stumbled across some Canadian builders, and one thing led to another, and I really focus on log homes, but I get to do some of the fun playground equipment and accessories whenever I get a chance.
So homes led you into playground equipment?
Yeah. The customers get some pretty fancy requests for some of their nice homes, and just goes from there.
Yeah.
They get some pretty crazy ideas.
What were you doing before you were in carpentry? Is that where you began your career?
Yeah, I've always been fascinated with wood right from high school. It was one of my favorite classes, and that and architecture. And those are my two fun things that get me going.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So starting from the beginning, has it always been a success story, or it took a while to build up a business, or?
Beaver Log has been this is its 5th year as a corporation, and yeah, it has been easy, but nothing is, I guess, and it's been a real fascinating thing. Starting my own corporation and working for myself, having employees, and it's been quite a career. We went through a real construction boom, and we've had as much as 12 employees, and now we're down to a couple, but that's fine. We're having to diversify and specialize a little bit more. But yeah, the economy is kind of dictating the market right now. That's okay.
Sure. And you guys have had some pretty big success stories, especially in the last year or two, I believe. And can you tell us about some of those?
Yeah, we had a real nice inquiry for the Olympics from the village of Whistler, and they were really receptive for our product. And we got to build a progressive, inclusive playground for the city of Whistler for the games. So that was pretty exciting. Yeah, tough schedule and everything, but we made it. And yeah, it's going over well, and it's getting well used right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with all the success, there's obviously, other than the economy, maybe there's been some kind of hiccups you've had along the way. Can you tell us about some of those that you've ran into and how you overcame them?
Yeah, I don't think it's anything different than anybody else would encounter running a small business. You know, employees chasing down the work and keeping things running. It's just standard procedure, I think, for everybody. But
it must be quite different for you going from 12 employees to 2 employees and possibly back up to 12 again.
And it's starting to pick up again this year. This is turning out to be a pretty busy year. Building permits are up, and lots of renovations going on and stuff. So yeah, you just never know when that.
Well, maybe we'll do a quick little tour around and see some of the products you have here.
Sure, sounds great, Mike. So we're looking at an offcut here from a piece off the Whistler treehouse. It's a root wad, and we've cleaned it up and machined it down, so it makes it quite an effective table base. This gets rented out to trade shows and whoever might need a fancy piece.
So companies actually rent this table just for a specific event or a day? Or?
Yeah, exactly. This was just at a trade show for BC Hydro. They used it for a weekend. And lots of compliments, and helps with the draw for the booths and stuff.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It would be a big draw for anybody to come in.
Yeah. So. It was really effective. So we're finding a bit of a need for these products, even if it's not for purchase.
It's got that natural feel to it as well, though, right?
Yeah.
That the companies are looking for, going on the green side of things, and
absolutely,
this kind of screams that out to you as opposed to anything else that's out there so far.
That's right.
This is pretty much as green as you get.
We're just trying to let people know that there's wood options out there for playthings and accents. That's nothing new, but the wood playground element's pretty interesting. There's not a lot of it out there.
And this came off the Whistler treehouse?
This is just a piece of the offcut. Yeah, this is a piece of extra wood that we had, and managed to salvage it. I really am into the salvage wood. Like we use the pine beetle, blue stain wood. This, for example, this was 6 trees that was salvaged, and we 6 cedar trees that were going to go to the sawmill. We took them apart, cleaned them up, joined them back together. So it was get all cut up into lumber and stuff anyway. Most of these pieces were all going to be garbage.
So in this treehouse itself, this is wheelchair accessible from
Yeah.
what you were telling me before?
Fully wheelchair accessible inside. We get you going around in there, and that's big. It's a big avenue for us.
Big enough for large people to go in, like adults, or just children?
Absolutely, yeah. Anybody in a chair.
Can we take a look inside?
Yeah.
Great.
It's a bit of a work in progress. It's our promo package right now, and we've had this on tour to trade shows and stuff too. It's gone around the country a little bit with us, and people are getting the idea of what we can do. It definitely gets some people thinking and asking some questions when they see it.
I would guess having the actual product in front of people is your selling point, because it's one thing to see this on a website or in a catalog, but to actually understand the structure and what happened here, I mean,
It
that's
really
the proof is in the pudding, and it's in your face.
And people have said to me that when you actually step inside, that's when you get a special sort of feeling. It's like you don't really understand it until you're inside the tree, and you can't explain that. And a lot of people don't even realize that it is wood until they see it, and then they hear that it's 4 or 5 trees joined together, and it just keeps getting more and more interesting for them.
Maybe we'll take a little walk inside here.
He's going in. We try and utilize graphics, and we have a chalkboard and stuff in here that goes around for the kids to play around, and we've got a loft upstairs for them to climb up to. It's just a bit of work in progress. We've got lots of ideas, and no customer yet, but when we do find a customer, I'm sure they'll have some input. We've got options like wiring this thing for internet, and we can make this thing anything. It can be indoor, outdoor. There's really no limit to what we can do with wood.
And I would assume anything you guys do is completely customizable, as it's not coming out of a package. You guys make it here yourself, right?
Yeah, there is no prefabrication of this stuff. Yeah, everything's custom. Takes a little bit of time, but people are willing to wait, and they come in with some pretty grand ideas. So obviously that takes time.
Great.
Yeah, I'll keep walking on through. You get the idea. There's more pine here,
And the detail with the pine beetle there. And
yeah, and some of the coastal treacle beetle, and this is actually a green roof. So we have some plantlings that go up there for our shows. And
oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a nice addition and feel for it.
Yeah, it really does bring it alive when you can see some grass up there. And we're building some, kids' picnic tables, and that's what my guy's working on here.
A picnic table?
Yeah, a kid's size.
And how long would it take about to do a kid's picnic table?
Oh, he'll probably be on that for 4 days probably. It's a bit of work and stuff. It's a little bit of fitting and what have you. Yeah, there's inquiries for this.
Basically, this is a pretty unique product. It's not something you can go buy from the big box retailers, or drive down to your local store and buy. It's something that you make right here.
That's correct, and people are right fascinated to come in and take a look at them. They don't mind watching us work, and we're pretty flexible. If people want a product and they purchase something from us, we'll let them come in and stain the product in their shop and stuff like that to get it before they move it in and stuff like that. And we're pretty flexible and like to help out any way we can.
Why do you like doing business in Kamloops in general?
Well, it's my hometown, and I'm really starting to realize how valuable a location it is. It's central, and I can pretty much service anywhere in BC from here within half a day. I can be there, the Kootenays, everywhere. It really is a good location for a small business, any business, and this shop that the city of Kamloops helped me acquire is really valuable to me and stuff, and I'm really starting to get anchored in here.
So again, being all over the world, from Asia to USA to everywhere else, you decided to come back home, so to speak?
Well, yeah, I've always been out of the interior. I'll always be an interior boy, and yeah, it's always great to come home, and I'm really happy to be working more in Canada now than anywhere.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah.
And just the last thing, you know, if someone were to come and want to open up a business in Kamloops, what would you tell them about the city? Why should they pick here instead of Kelowna or Vernon or Prince George even?
It seems to me Kamloops is just rightly situated between the busy tourism sector of Kelowna, where you can't buy any property or you can't move, and you're still in the heart of the hub, as opposed to Prince George. You're a little bit more reliant upon other sectors up there. I don't know. I think Kamloops is a very good location. Very good location for anybody. You got Venture Kamloops too. They're pretty helpful.
That's a little plug. I owe you a little bit for that one.
This is a bar that Stanley Park Brewery commissioned us to make for them. It's a keg stand that they take around to their shows and serve their beer from. So it's a mobile unit, and they basically just stuff their keg cooler in there and come on up and drink free beer.
So they essentially, same type of thing as a table, they rent this off you, they ask you to build it,
Yep.
they rent it off you, take it to different shows. Are there other companies, you know, if there's ones in town that want to rent it to use as a keg type stand, would they be able to rent it off, or is it strictly for Stanley Park Brewery?
They've grown pretty fond of it. They want to purchase this now, but we believe there is a need for this product, and we're going to have more stock in the warehouse here soon. Things have to be available for people to see and touch to want to purchase them. So we're going to make more stuff like this, and we're going to have a ton of them kicking around for a while. And yeah, we've got to have product for people to touch in order to purchase it.
No, when they return it, is there kegs left in it typically, or is it?
No, we usually make sure we take care of all the product for them, and yeah.
Little staff party when it comes back.
No, they're pretty receptive, and we did a nice boardwalk commission for Vinnycorn Distilleries, and they had a nice boardwalk station, wetlands boardwalk up that we had to duplicate for their last show.
Wow.
Yeah,
Excellent.
interesting. And we had this kids' own material here too. We've got a climber and a tunnel. This is a tunnel that this is an offcut or a piece of leftover wood from the Whistler project.
Right.
Yeah, and so we just cleaned it out and
Essentially save as much wood as you can.
absolutely.
Just, you know.
There's a good example of the smallest little piece going to use right here. We can try and make everything
With the climber itself.
This is the climber. This is the kid's climber.
The lens.
Yeah. Yeah. And surprisingly, all ages were all over this thing. We had little guys with their parents helping them over it, and we had 7 to 12-year-olds climbing on it and jumping off it.
And 30, 40-year-olds. I think I've seen you on this a couple of times already.
Yeah. It doesn't take much to keep people happy, I'm finding. Simple piece of log, and that's about it.
Excellent. And if people have more questions or want to know more about your product, where can they reach you at? Do you have a website or a phone number they can get you?
Beaverlog.ca will direct you to my contact sheet. Call me directly at 250-377-3564, or just stop on down here to the Mission Flats Road landfill. Public Works Yard, 800 Mission Flats Road. Come see the stuff anytime you want.
Great. Well, thanks for your time, Trevor. That concludes our first segment of Kamloops Business Spotlight.